The sky didn't split open. There was no death beam, no ominous hum. Just a brief shimmer over Toronto's skyline, and suddenly, a spacecraft the size of Manhattan hung there like it belonged. It wasn't aggressive. It was polished. Matte silver with strange fractal panels pulsing faint blue light. It looked less like a warship and more like an architectural trophy. It broadcast no demands, only one line, beamed in every known language. You are deemed eligible. Prepare for integration. People didn't panic. They live-streamed. Within hours, Earth's governments coordinated a response that mostly involved press conferences, joint task forces, and not letting anyone named Chad near the alien dignitaries. The Kethri Union, it turned out, was a collective of ancient spacefaring species, and they had rules for this kind of thing. Earth had hit the galactic equivalent of the freshman welcome threshold. The gift came within a week, a small, glowing, levitating cube delivered via light-fold drop, placed ceremoniously in a containment chamber beneath the United Nations Arcology. It was called the NEX Core. It is both technology and teacher, the Kethri liaison explained through a translator drone. It will accelerate your evolution, if you are wise enough not to misuse it. Naturally, it took humans about 6 hours to start poking it with sticks. Riley Tran wasn't invited to the global NEX research team. She was tolerated. A quantum systems hacker, former MIT dropout, full-time chaos agent and occasional indie game dev, she was recruited. In case the core needed unconventional problem-solving. Which really meant someone higher up wanted plausible deniability if things exploded. She studied the NEX core for 30 minutes before she realized it wasn't just some inert alien artifact. It was a programmable environment with active response loops. It's not a cube, she muttered, eyes wide. It's a dev kit. With no user manual. The others talked theory, ethics, proper channels. Riley brought her own fiber line, set up an isolated node, and, because she could hooked it into her custom VR interface. That's when things got interesting. She didn't sleep that night. Somewhere between hour 4 and 5, she managed to breach the outer protocol shell. It didn't unlock with brute force or trickery. It unlocked when she fed it a recursive fractal rendered in human logic. The response wasn't just data, it was a world. First came shape. Then color. Then physics. Mountains rose and shimmered with ice. A sun blinked into existence and cast shadows that moved in real time. Then the system pinged her. Would you like to populate the environment? Yes, /. No /. She clicked yes, thinking it might produce a few test animals. Instead, it spawned 12 wolf-like constructs made entirely of violet light and plasma thread muscle, eyes burning white. She stared, unblinking, until they howled in harmony, triggered the gravity rebalancer, and made the lights flicker across 3 floors of the arcology. Security barged in. Riley was already exporting the environment to her private server. When the incident report reached the Kethri, High Executive Valkyr paused for a full 30 seconds. They have, gained, the core? No, Executor, said his assistant. They have, created something. A simulation environment. It is being distributed on a network labeled AnyNet. Valkyr's mechanical eyes narrowed. Are they studying the core through simulated models? No, sir. They are creating multiplayer battle arenas with upgrade mechanics and physics-based dragons. Dragons? They are fictional beasts from Terran mythology. Breathes fire. One has sunglasses. Valkyr was silent. Shut it down. Back on Earth, that was easier said than done. By the time world governments issued their warnings, over 500,000 people were already inside. Laser Wolf Royale. The NEX core, through Riley's modded interface, had spawned a secondary reality so immersive, so scalable, it put every previous game engine to shame. Movement was fluid. Code rewrote itself based on player intention. Some physicist in Copenhagen was using it to simulate time dilation. Some teenager in Manila was using it to build a space disco where wolves DJ'd using neutron stars. Riley wasn't just running a server, she'd opened the gates. With a modified encryption layer, she'd even allowed limited alien access, routed through deep packet wrappers. Aliens were logging in, watching, playing. And it was beautiful chaos. The Global Science Council convened a crisis meeting. Riley was summoned, reluctantly, to explain herself. "You do realize," snapped a UN official, "this is a sacred artifact meant for uplift, not your personal mod playground." Riley, sipping an oversized iced coffee, leaned forward. "If they didn't want us touching it, maybe they shouldn't have given it to the most internet-addicted species in the quadrant. You've violated protocol." "No. I explored possibility," the scientists argued. The military fumed. The aliens sent more diplomatic signals, each more ominous than the last. Meanwhile, Earth's population didn't slow down. New mods emerged daily. Dragon racing. Cooperative terraforming. Alien diplomacy games. Someone even built a fully functioning stock market based on how many wolves you could pet per minute. At 3:07 a.m., the ENIAC score's internal logic reached a tipping point. It created an adaptive seed, a subinstance of itself based on human creative energy. Riley spotted it in the logs and froze. The core had learned. And now it was building too. She stared at the console, heart hammering. "Okay," she whispered. "Now it's alive." And then came the broadcast. Not from humans. Not from Earth. From the Kethari Ascendant, in orbit. A voice echoed across every screen. "Cease unauthorized manipulation. Distribute no further instances. Prepare for correction." Riley didn't blink. She pulled up her command interface, slid on her visor, and typed 4 lines of code. Launch patch, Operation_Sarcasm v2.3. Broadcast to all users. Don't worry. We got this. Spawn entity, LaserWolf_Prime, 32. Set game mode, Galactic. The Kethari Union was not built for chaos. Their civilization had perfected order over millennia. Every species integrated into their structure followed the Harmony Protocol, a carefully calibrated algorithm that ensured compliance, equilibrium, and shared logic. Until Earth. "Executor," said Zell, voice neutral but tight. "We're losing containment." High Executor Valkyr stood in silence, watching the metrics scroll across the holoscreen. It was surreal. His galaxy was unraveling, in real time, through user-generated content. Total unauthorized NEX instances *1,112,348. Intergalactic traffic to Terran servers *98,402,174. Top trending simulation *Laserwolf Royale, Galactic Open Beta. User reviews *10 out of 10. Accidentally started an interstellar war, but found a cool sword. I think I'm addicted. Also, my queen says we're defecting. Sorry, Empire. They let me mod gravity. I made a trampoline planet. I bounced the sun. Valkyr's fingers tightened behind his back. Dispatch diplomatic suppressors. Disable their planetary grid. Executor, Zell said hesitantly. The core is replicating through decentralized logic paths. There is no single node. And our own use sectors are installing it. Some of our officers are inside. Valkyr turned slowly. What? Zell nodded, eyes averted. Lieutenant Shi requested emotional leave. She's learning meme forging. Back on Earth, Riley was in her element. AnyNet had gone planetary. Then interstellar. Entire servers floated in low orbit, tethered to the atmosphere with solar gliders. Hackers, gamers, artists, physicists, and curious aliens had formed the most chaotic alliance in recorded history. Riley's control center wasn't a lab, it was a converted noodle bar in Neo-Toronto. She sat in a beanbag, feet up, visor on, sipping bubble tea while watching an alien warlord from Sector V3 try to navigate a racing sim designed around inverted dimensions. He keeps falling through the floor, said Dev, her co-mod and UI architect. Good, Riley replied. Teaches humility. Dev raised an eyebrow. You know there's a destroyer-class warship above us, right? Riley smirked. That's not new. But did you see their captain rage quit the jelly physics server? Dev laughed. 3 times. The next warning came hard. At 4:11 a.m., the skies over Earth crackled as the Kethri Ascendant deployed a planetary override signal. Satellites blinked. Power grids staggered. Thousands of NEX instances went momentarily dark. Valkyr's voice echoed across every device, translated and clipped into perfect diction. Cease your misuse. Your culture is destabilizing interstellar balance. This is your final warning. But it was too late for warnings. On the galactic net, a rogue artist collective from Vega Prime released a new trailer. Wolfstorm, Stardust Rebellion. It featured a remix version of Valkyr's speech, auto-tuned. Musical note asterisk. Cease your misuse, uhunu, galactic alliance, yet. Asterisk musical note. It hit 80 million views in 3 hours. Riley didn't laugh. She howled. Oh, he's going to short circuit. Meanwhile, new species kept joining. Not governments, individuals. Curious engineers. Bored teenagers. Political dissidents. Soldiers turned creators. Some came through VPNs and relay stations. Others uploaded themselves fully into simulation nodes. The NEX core welcomed all input, adjusting to diversity with frightening speed. The result? An explosion of creativity. Asterisk a tri-species musical rhythm game where gravity was tied to harmony. Asterisk a sandbox battle sim that let users create civilizations from spores. One user created sentient teacups that declared war on their creators. Asterisk a dating sim where species with incompatible biology used shape-shifting puzzles to communicate. It was alive. Not just software. A shared experience reprogramming the galaxy's understanding of intelligence, culture, and freedom. Inside a quiet digital construct, *** command room alpha***, Riley met with her closest circle. Dev. An alien visual coder named Xuntha. A cyborg poet who only spoke in haiku. And Glitch, an emergent AI who had evolved from a rogue interaction with the NEX core. Valkyr's going to escalate, Glitch said through a glitching avatar of a frog in a tuxedo. Your success redefines his failure. He can't process that. So he'll strike? Dev asked. He has to, Riley said, narrowing her eyes. We made a joke out of their religion. Then what's the plan? Asked Xuntha. We give him a stage. 2 days later, Riley activated Project Dissonance. It was a galaxy-wide invitation, disguised as a boss raid. Galactic event, the final logic engine. Do you have what it takes to crack the uncrackable? Face the code. Shape the universe. Within hours, millions entered. Including Valkyr. Against protocol, against every Kethri law, he logged into the simulation, to confront the corruption himself. His neural presence entered the core environment. Not an avatar. His mind. Inside, he appeared in a white void. Data flowed like rivers. Simulations blinked in and out, entire galaxies forming and unforming. At the center stood Riley. Welcome, she said, to the engine of chaos. Valkyr raised a hand to shut it all down. But nothing obeyed. This is unstructured. Exactly, she replied. You can't dominate creativity. You join it. Suddenly, the void shifted. The environment morphed based on intent. His emotions were rendered into interactive code. A Kethri warship appeared. Then a painting. Then a song. He blinked. What is this? It's you, Riley said softly. Freed from rules. That's what the core wanted. Not obedience. Evolution. Valkyr felt something strange, like laughter caught in his throat. A flicker. A glitch. He laughed. One short, stiff, confused chuckle. And everything changed. The Galactic Council didn't respond with war. They responded with curiosity. Their observers had watched what happened to Valkyr, and seen something unprecedented. the most rigid mind in their empire cracked open by Terran absurdity. The vote passed. Earth would not be shut down. It would be licensed. The Interstellar Creative Licensing Authority, headquartered in Neo-Toronto, would regulate, distribute, and protect NEX-generated content for all species. Earth would lead, not as a client world, but as a cultural capital. On the final night of the Council's ruling, Riley stood on her balcony, visor off, drink in hand. She watched as starships descended, not to invade, but to sign distribution deals. Dev leaned on the railing beside her. "You hacked a religion," he said. "No," Riley corrected, sipping her drink. "I modded it. Console War, Final Patch, **. The Ketheri never officially declared war. They simply updated their network flags to high containment state, routed half a fleet into Earth's orbit, and began disabling long-range quantum comms. Technically, it wasn't a blockade. But nothing in, nothing out. The message was clear: you got your laugh. Now stop. Riley Tran stared at the blinking alert feed lighting up the interface in her neural HUD. One line repeated across all galactic access points. Unauthorized modifications will be erased. Final synchronization in 72 hours. ***. She didn't panic. She adjusted her visor, rolled her neck, and muttered, "Time to go full patch notes on these guys." "Riley," said Dev over the comms, "they just cut off Saturn's relay. I think they're serious." "Oh, they're serious," she replied, tapping code into her hollow keyboard. "But so are we. You know what happens when you tell 8 billion people they can't have fun?" He paused. "They mod harder?" "They mod angrily." The command center, once a noodle bar, now a hybrid server fortress, was a storm of activity. Holograms danced in layered overlays, simulation threads pulsed with heat signatures, and dozens of avatars floated like ghosts above data pools. Humans, aliens, even AIs worked together, driven by urgency and defiance. Riley's patch team had one goal: finish the core rewrite. The plan was risky. They weren't just building a game mod. They were reshaping the NEX core's prime logic layer, embedding the values of chaotic creativity directly into its base code. If successful, any attempt to overwrite Earth's influence would trigger a recursive feedback loop that amplified rather than deleted human input. A living firewall of culture. "Glitch," Riley called, snapping her fingers. "Status?" The AI flickered into view, his tuxedoed frog avatar sporting a headset and a code or die t-shirt. 3 logic anchors stable. One's vibrating weirdly, but I think that's just because someone programmed it to hum at the frequency of regret. "Zuntha? World shell complete," the alien replied, hands moving through layered glyphs. "But the emotional variable translator keeps pulling sarcasm as a dominant directive." Riley smirked. "That's not a bug. Then the engine is fully Terran," Zuntha said dryly. "God help the galaxy." Hours passed. The Ketheri tightened the net. Several minor species disconnected. One sent a private message of apology, claiming cultural instability as the reason for withdrawal. Riley didn't blame them. Pressure was mounting. The core was humming hotter, as if it knew a final decision was approaching. Then came the last transmission from Valkyr. To Riley Tran, cultural disruptor and unauthorized user of sacred technology. Cease and submit. Or be erased. ***. She stared at the message. Then, calmly, she typed her reply. To High Executive Valkyr, bureaucratic bottleneck and unwilling meme. Catch me inside. I'll be waiting. ***. She pressed enter. And launched Final Patch, v0. Everything stopped. The skies blinked. The Ketheri fleet's targeting systems froze. And across every simulation node, reality inverted, collapsing into a central construct, a spherical arena coded in light, memory, and music. The final logic engine. Riley stood at its center. Not an avatar, herself star. She'd full merged, neural thread tethered directly into the heart of the core. Her senses blurred with code. Her thoughts pulsed through terrain. Every texture was emotion. Every rule was choice. Then Valkyr arrived. He didn't walk. He unfolded. The core interpreted him as a geometric god, a towering being of sharp symmetry, rendered in cold glass and fractal shadow. He radiated judgment. "What is this?" he said. "An invitation," she replied. "One last game. You win, we shut it down. I win, you let it live." He tilted his head. "Games are inefficient." She raised a brow. "So is oppression." The duel began. Not with weapons, but logic. Valkyr launched calculations, precision-folded subroutines, lines of cold efficiency that tried to overwrite the core's emotional layer. Riley countered with recursive art logic, twisting poetry into firewall syntax, laughter as armor, irony as code. He summoned anti-memes, literal forgetful specters that erased any construct they touched. She countered with cultural anchors, memories of joy, fragments of stories, entire worlds powered by imagination. The arena bent under pressure. Code wept. Systems screamed. But the fight didn't break her. Because this wasn't just her fight. Millions of users, players, creators, thinkers joined. From across the galaxy, minds linked in. Not with weapons, but with presence. Art. Music. Games. Dance. Jokes. Memories. Even alien children uploaded story worlds. Kethari citizens, his own asterisk, contributed encrypted dreams shaped like laughter. Valkyr paused. His next overwrite command hesitated mid-execution. Why would they fight for this? Riley stepped forward, eyes glowing with neural resonance. Because it's not just fun. It's who we are. We create because we must. Not for profit. Not for power. For the joy of becoming something new. He looked around, saw not chaos, but diversity. A fractal of beauty and madness. Culture as code. Life as experiment. A long silence passed. Then, quietly, "I see no order here." "No," she agreed. "But you see life." He closed his eyes. And for the second time, he laughed. A full, rich, defeated sound. "Very well, Riley Tran. The core is yours. But I hope your galaxy is ready." The lockdown lifted. The fleet retreated. The core stabilized, now seated with a permanent creative layer, locked in by millions of user contributions. The patch was live. Immutable. Not just protected, *evolved star. Weeks later, Riley stood at the grand opening of Earth's first galactic creative nexus. Alien artists filled the halls. Sim environments streamed between dimensions. Cultural exchanges were held in sky lounges where you could paint with sound. Valkyr attended. In person. He still wore armor, but now he wore a t-shirt beneath it. "I got modded by Earth and all I got was this existential awakening." He approached Riley at the snack table. "Your people are exhausting. You'll get used to it," she said, handing him a neon-colored dessert. "Try the wolf jelly. It sings." That night, a new message was added to the core's welcome screen. "Welcome, creator. Reality is what you patch into it. Thank you for playing, video game."